Need some coins for that God Squad you've always wanted? For fast and cheap coins, check out instantmudcoins.com and use code ZIRK for 20% off. Link is in the description.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be going over the final franchise update for Madden 21. I know that a lot of you guys may not be people that actually play franchise, but it seems like every time that I do like an update video, I get a lot of people commenting about the franchise update, so there's not really a lot. So luckily for you guys, there is a big update coming tomorrow for franchise, and it is the final one for Madden 21, which I usually don't cover, you know, a lot of stuff with like franchise, competitive, whatever, but I feel like this is big enough. I think you guys will enjoy this. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Tyson16 for being a part of the Noti Gang. If you guys want a chance to be shout out in the next video, drop a like in the vid, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and comment down below, Noti Gang. But let's go ahead and get into this, guys. There is quite a bit of info about Madden 21. So today we're excited to share with you our final set of franchise updates arriving tomorrow in Madden 21. We're going to start with league history and then take a deep dive into the trade logic and player value improvements. And of course, guys, Madden 22, there's going to be a little bit more with, you know, updates, everything like that. There's going to be a lot more Madden 22, at least that's kind of what they said earlier this year. Was it Madden 22? That's when we'll see like some bigger changes to franchise. So league history, revisit the history of your franchise through our new running log of key award winners, conference, and Super Bowl champions on a yearly basis. These records will be located in a single hub with a year filter to see the champions and award winners from previous seasons. By the way, just to note here, I don't actually play franchise, but I do know a lot of people that do play franchise. I used to play franchise quite a bit. If it's better next year, maybe I'll get into it. Maybe even start like a series where, you know, I do a franchise with you guys. If that's something you want to see. Developer note, for existing franchises, this will only have data for the current season and beyond. If you are in year 4 of your franchise, the previous years will not have data. For new franchises made after this update, every year of our league will be tracked. We wanted to make sure to get this feature in, as we have plans to build on it in the future. So I guess that's pretty cool to be able to go back and actually see the history of your league. Also, trade logic and player value improvements. So in many cases, we took top reported community issues with trade value as direct inspiration to design and implement ways to address those concerns in a way that gives tangible changes for Madden 21 and serves as a foundational piece for our tuning in the future. We can and will be better adapting our core systems to better reflect a more realistic player movement experience in the future. When it comes to building your roster, our new tuning is also a shift towards a reciprocation approach for highly valued players, closer to what we've seen based on changing perceptions of realistic trades over the years, with major names changing teams more frequently. At the core, this means that for users trading for a star, it will cost a package of either high value picks, or both, and for the other way, trading away a player. At the core, this means the price to obtain a star or high overall player can, and in most cases will be steep, but rooted against more authentic trade packages. We also wanted to provide more direct power to users who are willing to move high value players from their own roster to get more in return that wasn't previously possible. Our goal is to have things still make sense in the logic, even if a trade is offered or accepted that is inherently not in the best interest of the team to make, while making it cost prohibitive at times to do. A difficult balance without directly blocking users from acquiring who they want. So here is exactly what they mean by that. So they align the trade system to always use a player's best overall rather than using a team's overall. So they fixed issue where higher overall development players inexplicably did not have value due to player archetype differences in situations where a team valued a receiving back but had a power back. The power back would previously create in value for no reason otherwise. Value is now more consistent as a result. They also addressed legacy bug around offensive lineman value in general. Elite O linemen will now be valued at more authentic cost to acquire, like Quentin Nelson. Added logic for CPU teams to be able to recognize context around when a player is actually an upgrade when acquiring a player that is not a starter on their current team but would be for the new team. Allows the CPU teams to better recognize when a lower quality caliber player is circumstantially starting rather than a 73 overall getting the same base value for being cornerback 1 as a player like Stephon Gilmore would. addressing issues where players would be evaluated at the incorrect depth chart position on the acquiring team. This causes inconsistencies in players' values for CPU teams acquiring players. They also address trading for same position value issues. When a user or CPU team trades a starter for another player at the same position who would start, we were not valuing the player as a starter for the new team, which caused players to be valued less than they should be. Also, some additional updates were made, so base values of every position at each depth chart slot for all 32 NFL teams, including franchise-specific schemes to address isolated value issues and authenticity improvements, allowed both teams to access the premium value associated trades, gives each team a better picture of the player's actual value. Multiple instances of issues where lower overall players be overvalued due to the team need a position. You guys can see the rest of that stuff also made development trait a full factor in the player's value circulation rather than a modifier. And then of course, based on whether the team runs a 3-4, 4-3, they'll be valued differently, like a 4-3 starting team needs a second DT. This logic also impacts what positions teams look to trim roster cuts on in preseason. New values are aligned and intended to leave teams with a more appropriate number of players at each position per authentic expectations. Now also, if we go into the draft pick stuff, you guys can see right here, completely realign the base value of draft picks to work with new player value changes and more closely align with NFL benchmark trade values. Previously, the second and third draft pick in an offer would have slightly decremented values. We didn't feel this was authentic, so they removed it. Also, impacts both pick for pick trades as well as picks for players or any mixture of the two. Now down here also there was team philosophy stuff and also player value modifiers, so teams will have more nuanced perspectives of valuing players and draft picks from their own and opponents. This creates a situational concept in franchise that we see all the time in the NFL. Just because a team is more open with trading a draft pick in a championship contention window doesn't mean that the team should or does not still value draft picks at all as a core philosophy. Also, player value modifiers, retune the value increase modifiers for players in the first year of their contracts, and players who are rookies, added logic to no longer apply bonus first year of contract value to players who are only signed to one-year contracts. Previously, all players on one-year contracts were receiving a value bonus that was only intended for players on long-term contracts. Age value tuning. Every player position received a new customized age value curve that keeps player value authentically updated as players get older in franchise. As players age, the more the age impacts their value on the market. Now, as there is a developer note with this, so this is where we get to subjective water cooler trade talks, like you see what that team just offered for a player. Seemed like a steal. What would you give up? I'd probably give up a second rounder for that guy. He would easily get a first round pick. He's so good. Yeah, but they can retire in a year. He's worth a first round pick to his team easily, but for anyone getting them, they're not getting him for very long. QB specific value improvements. So added new premium value modifiers to raise QB value compared to same skill positions. This allows QBs to receive similar compensation as in real life while also reflective of our rating skills. For example, an 86 overall QB is a franchise level talent. We wanted to make sure that trading away or for a player that at that level is recognized for being a more valuable and rare commodity than possibly a 90 to 93 at other positions. All positions have a high age value percentage for players in their early 20s, but like in real life, QBs are generally more valuable than players of equivalent skill at other positions at any age. Combined with the base value tuning mentioned earlier, this makes young, higher overall starting QBs exceptionally valuable and a significant investment of draft capital to acquire a top player based on overall age, development trait, and other factors. Now, also is this video, which you guys can go ahead and check out if you want to. It is in the Gridiron notes, but really, just to summarize it, because I did watch it, he basically just said, this is all the stuff, there's gonna be more coming Madden 22. However, you guys will notice behind him the staff management screen on the TV. So this is not in the title update notes, so I believe this is something that could potentially be coming to Madden 22, is staff management. Or maybe it's going to be coming later, but see, now this is the last update unless they just add this in at some point throughout Madden 21. Just a quick little update there. I think this is probably that's something going to be coming to Madden 22. So with that being said, guys, that is the last title update for the franchise of Madden 21. There is a lot of stuff in this video, so hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like in the video, and of course hit that sub button down below, and let me know, should I start a franchise with you guys next year? I'll see if I have the time for it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.